Welcome to the Legacy League's Week 3 postgame show presented by the East Coast Garage Doors. I'm Will McAdoo along with Tyler, Ian, and Eric. So let's just jump right into it. We have our game of the night, which is the number 3 Sports Look team, who are 2-0 coming in tonight, against the 2-0 Serial Killers, who are number 2 in the power rankings. Ian or Tyler, you want to tell us a little about this game?
Yeah, so coming into tonight, these were two of our top 3 teams in the league, scoring a lot of points, fast-paced play. Surprisingly, this game was a defensive battle. You know, points were hard to come by. Final score, 56-51 Sportslook. Just like to also point out, all of us picked Sportslook in the upset, so we look pretty good tonight. Like I said, Brian Acevedo kept it going, 25 points, which was a bad night for him, considering. You know, they sort of are really starting to gel together. Their new point guard, Scotty, is looking great out there, facilitating, get the ball movement. And, yeah, it was like I said, it was just a poor shooting night for the Serial Killers, defensive battle, and the Sportslook was able to come out on top.
Like you said, Tyler, not surprising. We all picked Sportslook, and we assume that it's just going to continue throughout the weeks. But, Eric, how about the No Limit game over on Court 2 between No Limit and Goon Squad?
We had 2 squads coming into this match. We thought they were pretty evenly matched up. We have them around the middle of the power rankings, so we thought it'd be a good match, and it was. Goon Squad was able to keep it close until the 4th quarter, and that's when No Limit pulled away. And they ended up winning by 19, but that didn't really reflect how close the game went. John Roulan, once again, was dominant. 28 points to go along with 7 boards and 3 blocks and 3 assists. And Terrell Vargas, he is an absolute force in transition. If he gets the ball, it's probably going to end up with a dunk. And he also had 18 points to go along with 9 boards and 5 assists.
Yeah, absolutely. And throughout our power rankings the last couple of weeks, No Limit's right around the middle of the pack. And I kind of think they deserve a little more than that. I think if John Roulan goes off, I feel like Terrell Vargas, Howie Miller, and the rest of the team are right there behind him if one doesn't do well that night. So I think that they'll do a lot better as the week goes on.
And Serial Killers might have to take a trip down.
They might have to. Yeah, you're right. Will Hudson and Tyron Coward, we'll see where they end up in a couple weeks. Ian, we had Run TMC and the Brotherhood over here at Court 1. How'd that go?
That was actually a pretty tight battle right there. Brotherhood actually slipped away with it 90-74, but Run TMC was keeping it tight throughout the first half and into the second half. They were down 4 late in the second half. Alston dropped 24 points and 8 rebounds for Run TMC, and Matt Zacco actually he contributed 23 points to the losing effort, unfortunately. But the Brotherhood, too strong, stayed undefeated. Peyton dropped 28 points, and Adante really controlled the paint down low with 5 blocks. So,
no surprises there with Russ Payton taking over the game. However, a little surprising with Run TMC staying in the game. I expect a little more to come out of them next week and the weeks to come. Like to see the Zacco brothers get their first win next week, so we'll see what happens there.
Agreed.
But Ian and Tyler, to go along with that, One Time versus Temptations, how did that go?
That was probably our biggest blowout of the night. Final score of 101-56 in favor of the Temptations. And like has been the case for this whole season, the Santarelli brothers have just been absolutely lighting it up. Carmine, another typical game, 31 points, 6 rebounds. But it was really his brother tonight that really stepped it up with a double-double. He had 17 points, 11 boards, and 7 assists to go with it. So really just filling in the stat sheet. And again, another contributor for that team, Eric Silva, just continued his hot shooting. 22 points again tonight on 10 of 11. Guys shooting above 80% in every single game this season. It's unreal.
Unbelievable.
Well, they're the number 4 team going into the power rankings this week. And they have the Airballers going into next week, so I assume they're only going up in the power rankings in the near future. Eric, we have the other game, the Airballers versus the Cucumbas. How did that game go?
Well, these were 2 of our lower-ranked teams coming into this week. The Cucumbas showed that they have some ability. They were able to get a 21-point victory, 59-38 tonight, Aaron McElpeen had 22 points, and he really showed that he could be a sharpshooter tonight, hitting 5 of 7 threes. Jalen Smalls, once again, the lone bright spot for the Air Ballers. They've yet to get their first victory, but as the season goes on, I think they'll be able to get one.
Yeah, I liked a lot of what Jalen Smalls did last week. However, I didn't see that on the court today, and I expected a lot more to come out of him. But I guess everyone has their bad nights, but we'll see what happens in the near future. We also had one other game. It was Titans versus Blood, Sweat, and Beers. Eric, how was that one as well?
Well, we had BS&B coming in undefeated, and obviously Titans yet to get their first victory, and it remained that way. But it was a close battle. BS&B took the victory 56-50. Andrew Sampietro putting in 15 points. They had a very balanced scoring. Titans, they had a very good showing by Steven Eccles. He had 22 points along with 7 boards, 5 steals. They look to get their first win next week against No Limit. If we listen to you, they pretty much don't have a chance, but I look for the Titans also to get their first victory as well.
Interesting. And Blood, Sweat, and Beers, another 3-0 team. What do you think about that in the near future? They play the Serial Killers next week. Do you think they're going to stay undefeated, or?
Well, we had the BS&B ranked pretty low, and obviously the Serial Killers number 2 on our rankings. But I kind of feel like the tides are starting to shift, and
Absolutely.
if it would be interesting to see if BS&B could eclipse them eventually throughout the year.
This is where I'm going to have to disagree with you, Eric. I think the Serial Killers are going to come out on top and avenge themselves from this week after a big loss from Sports Look.
Yeah, I think that Serial Killers team is very passionate and they play with a lot of emotion, and I think that they're going to come out next week with a big chip on their shoulder. And I got to say, for a 3-0 team, BS&B hasn't really impressed me that much.
Absolutely not.
They haven't been able to put
agree.
away lower end teams, and their strength of schedule has been to their advantage. They haven't had to play too many tough teams. So I think once they have to play some of the higher teams in our power rankings, we'll really see their true colors.
But they were criminally underrated last season, and they showed that they can hang with some of the best teams. So if that can continue, they'll prove that they're the real deal.
Awesome. Well, are there any notable players that you saw tonight in any of your games?
I'm going to have to say Brian Acevedo again. He dropped 25 points, 19 coming in the second half, and that big win over the Serial Killers. He also contributed 3 steals, a couple of them very late in the game, which really sealed the deal for his squad. So I have to pick Brian Acevedo again.
Yeah, impressive. He continues to shoot lights out, and I expect nothing more as the week goes on.
Yeah, like for me personally, like I mentioned earlier, a couple players on the Temptations really had good games. Nick Santarelli with a double-double, again, 17 points, 11 boards, also 7 assists to go with it. And again, Eric Silva, 10 of 11 from the field, 22 points, just continues his dominance in the paint.
I don't have one player, but the 3-headed monster on No Limit of Terrell Vargas, John Rulon, and Howie Miller, they could do big things. So look out for them going forward.
Yeah, interesting. Well as all those players, we also have Eric Rankin, who was one of the top players, who is now out of the league for the rest of the year, which is a big loss for one time, and they'll continue to have a couple problems unless they can figure it out amongst their team. As well as that, the Brotherhood is missing Michael Davis, who is supposedly the best player of the league. However, we have not yet seen him, and the Brotherhood looks to stay undefeated, keep that number 1 rank, and keep on moving.
Agreed.
But that's all the time we have now, but keep posted. Stay on our social media page. It's at Legacy_Leagues on social media. We have Snapchat, Instagram,
Twitter.
Well. Yep, absolutely. And go to thelegacyleagues.com, where you can watch top plays, power rankings, highlights, and articles and more. So stay tuned and hope to see you next week for week 4.